evil genius. All right, everybody, turn the volume up, get ready. It's time for the Cave Sports once again. I'm your host, Anastasia, and I'm joined each week to talk football and, of course, social topics with the greatest co-host, well, on the island of Hawaii, the evil genius, Mr. Pepper himself. Welcome.
What up, folks? I'm the greatest co-host ever in anything. So if y'all need a co-host for something else or whatever, just let me know, because I'm better than just the island.
Apparently, I'm like a hot commodity host because I've been literally asked to host. I don't even know how many different events in this 1 week, and I'm like, is there nobody else that can host anything, or I don't know, but I guess if you're like the one to go to.
When you hot, you hot.
Right.
You gotta go. Gotta do what you gotta do.
It could be my second career. Hosting events. Wow. With that being said, though, we are going to cover just some hot topics today in sports entertainment, top 10 power rankings, just any changes that were made or any trades, and of course our upset and sure thing pick of the week. So make sure to catch us usually every Thursday morning, and also follow us for updates on Facebook and Instagram. We're at the Cave Sports on Facebook and Cave Sports Podcast on Instagram. You can also catch us on YouTube if you want to listen to us every day. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button and then click the bell next to it so that you actually are alerted when we upload a new video. For you experts, go ahead and download our podcast on iTunes, Spotify, and of course, Google Play.
There it is.
All right. Well, we love to start our
everywhere
episode,
twice.
Right? Twice. We like to start each episode off by giving you guys our upset of the week. And if we have like a sure thing pick too, which I like to do because it's kind of fun to just take a guess as to what we think is going to happen based off the spread. So keep this in mind, people. We do this based off the spread each week. So do you have a good one this week?
I like yours, so I'm looking for something different because I don't want to bite your style.
Yeah,
you know, that's
well, there's two.
Yeah.
The one that I focused on this week was Cleveland at Pittsburgh, and I believe it's been 3 out of the 7 games that Pittsburgh's played that they've taken a team to overtime. I feel like it's at least 3.
Yeah.
So, the spread for all the listeners is 8. Negative is -8. So that's, I mean, not to say that could not happen, like not to say that Pittsburgh could not cover that spread, but what I'm noticing with Cleveland is they're not getting blown out, and in certain circumstances, and I'm assuming, you know, they can play in cold weather, so I don't foresee weather being an issue.
Yep.
They're still able to perform, and they're taking teams at least to overtime, and those teams are beating them by 6 points or 3 points. They're not blowing them out. So
they lose every game by 3. Last year they lost all their games by a touchdown or less. This year they're losing by 3 points or less.
Right.
so it's improvements.
Yeah, -8 spread. I know. I definitely could see that being the upset of the week. So I'm going to go with Cleveland at Pittsburgh.
Cool. All right, that's fair. I am going to go ahead, and I don't believe I'm saying this, but I'm going with the Packers.
That's what I was going to say.
Even though the Packers have been suspect this year, it's showing 9.5 to the Rams, and I know the Rams are all world and that kind of deal, but the Rams, their defense has been scored on.
Right.
And I can see it being a shootout, and I can see the Packers losing by 7, but I don't see them losing by 10.
Right.
You know what's funny too? I'm gonna go with the Packers.
For LA to score so many points, the last couple weeks, Jared Goff has kind of like regressed. Like, it hasn't been a lot of passing touchdowns; it's been all on the ground. So for Green Bay,
all world.
Yeah, for Green Bay, I mean, they don't have to have an amazing pass coverage, protection in order to be able to handle the Rams. I mean, they don't need Patrick Peterson out there or somebody,
Yeah, the Rams secondary has definitely been hit up. So,
yes,
with Talib down, No, the other guy hurt off
Yeah.
and on. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, so
that's doable.
I think that's doable too. I think that's a great choice. Those two games definitely stood out for me, and even though the Rams can put points on the board, they have a hard time stopping them, just like Kansas City. They almost have to put that many points on because their defense really isn't stopping you from scoring.
Exactly. So
All right, good pick. Well,
yeah, that's what we roll with.
we're going with Cleveland at Pittsburgh.
Upsets.
That's my upset. And then Pepper's going to go ahead and take Green Bay and LA Ram. That's a -9.5. So
Yep.
how's it going? All right. Well, we didn't have a show last week. I had some unfortunate circumstances for me that I couldn't. Basically, the only thing that I could have really talked about is that there were a million blowouts. So
Yeah.
whatever. I'm tired of that.
My squad was one of them.
Yeah, I'm tired of. I'm
my
really
squad
tired of
was
that.
one of them.
But this past week, my Broncos finally had an opportunity to not look terrible, but they were playing basically the worst team in the league with, a coaching staff that should have all been fired, but they let, the offensive coordinator, Mike McCoy, go. They should just let go of everybody in Arizona. So, I felt good about that, and hopefully they'll be well rested with this 10-day break coming into week 8. But looking at the power rankings, I love how the Patriots have now sneaked into a number 2 slot. And they have moved the Chiefs down to 3. So the Rams are staying steady because they're still undefeated. So they deserve to be at number 1, even though I don't think they're, in my opinion, the number 1 team. I would still put the Chiefs above the Rams and the Patriots. But the Patriots are at 2 now. They have the Chiefs at 3, Saints at 4, Vikings at 5. How do you feel looking at this bottom 5, Pepper? We have the Chargers at 6, Panthers at 7, Ravens at 8, the Steelers at 9, and the Redskins at 10. And it's kind of sad because the Bengals, had stayed in that top 10 for a couple weeks, and these last week or so has pushed them right on out.
I have problems. Yeah, I understand they lost, and I'm cool with them dropping from 5 to 10.
Right.
But I'm not cool with the Ravens, who also lost, moving up onto the board.
Right.
And the Steelers, who were on the bye, moving into 9.
Right.
So I'm like,
because they moved into first
okay, so
place.
both teams in the division. Yeah.
They moved into first place while on their day off, as they say. It's like, how are you going to get promoted on your day off?
Yeah.
But they did.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, I still don't trust the Redskins, but whatever. You can't find any more consistent teams this year, so
yeah.
You gotta put in who you gotta put in.
Alex Smith is a very consistent player, and I think that's why people just have a little bit more faith in his ability, and I think that's probably how they snuck in there. The Steelers at 9. I don't know how they're in there over the Bengals, and the Ravens losing. I don't know how they're over the Bengals at 4-3. How a team 4-3 is at 8 is mind-boggling to me, but okay.
Yeah.
You might as well throw the Broncos in there if that's the case.
Yeah.
Now their defense
and
is...
might as well throw the Broncos and leave the Bengals in there.
Correct.
Everyone's got 4-3 records.
Right.
So,
I will say this, though, about the Ravens, and I was talking to Terrell Suggs' cousin about it, and I told him, I said, your cousin is literally playing like he is 25 again. And from the amount of injuries that he's had, right? But for the amount of injuries that he's had, if you have watched his career, I think there were some times where people were like, oh, he might be done. Like he's probably going to retire in a year or so. For him to be playing at the level he's playing right now, it was literally mind blowing. Like I had to text him about it because I was like, dude, your cousin is like, I'm trying to figure out if he went into a cryogenic chamber or what happened. Because it's almost like his game is aging in reverse. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, they finally got some situational deals in there because for a while he was the only guy on defense.
True. Yeah.
So that's definitely going to take a toll on things. But now they've got some other interior linemen that are loosening him back up, and he's T-Sizzle again. So.
Yeah, you can definitely see the difference. So that was good to see. Like I love seeing talented players like that. Have a revitalization and not be so disposable in this league. This is such a disposable league, so to see somebody not be disposable is awesome. But yeah, I have the same problems you have with the power rankings. The top 5, okay, fine, but that bottom 5 it's been suspect all year though.
Yep, very true.
Like I said though, people, this is NFL.com. So sometimes I think this is just because somebody paid them off to do this. Not necessarily that this is like reality, so just FYI. But I like to keep it consistent, so it's all coming from the same, place.
Same people. Yeah.
Correct. Well, we have a couple really great topics, I think, this week. The first one is, obviously, we had a trade happen in the last 2 days. Amari Cooper was traded to Dallas for a first-round draft pick. So he is leaving the Raiders, of highly dysfunctional, the brokest team in the NFL, to go to the richest team in the NFL. What a change, right? Like, I know if I was him, I would have done a backflip, a cartwheel, a somersault. I mean, off a 3-foot ledge, because that's huge for his career. I mean, I'd have been like, thank you, Jesus. I appreciate you for getting me out of this.
Even though they're getting Vegas next year, I still would not want to play for the Raiders right now. It's completely dysfunctional.
Highly.
And it's all Gruden's fault. Actually, no, it's all Davis Jr.'s fault.
Yes, that's ownership.
And the Mad Hatter back into control of the circus, and they're getting what they paid for. Nothing. Even though they paid a lot for it.
So looking at Dallas and looking at Oakland in this situation, which team do you think came out on top?
Dallas, definitely. Because you're gonna get a first round pick somewhere in the 20s. But what do the Raiders do with their first round picks? They blow them. or they let them develop into all world and then they trade them for nothing.
Right.
So so hopefully with Gruden being in there, he'll be wiser with the first pick. But I can see him being superseded, or I was completely baffled that they brought Gruden in. Yes, he was an RA coach back when he was there. The only time he had glory, though, was when he got to coach against the Super Bowl against his old team that he was there for already.
Right.
So outside of that, he was an 8-8 coach.
Right. So
I don't understand how, he was supposed to be this awesome guru that does all this kind of stuff. But when you look at the numbers in his record, he was mediocre. But they gave him all world super genius Bill Belichick money, and that's what they get. Just plain and simple, that's what they get.
Well, I mean, if we look at how media, if you look at how media works, media can blow up anybody. I mean, look at Donald Trump. So the media can make anybody feel like a god, even though you aren't, and they can make them look bigger than life to the outside world. And I think that's what media, sports media in particular, was able to do for Gruden. They made him appear larger than life, and unfortunately, the Raiders organization fell for that.
Yep.
So, yeah, I agree with you. I think Dallas, sometimes Jerry makes good moves. Sometimes he knows what he's doing, and this is one of those. I
don't even think. Jerry's getting up there in years, so some of his kids and stuff were starting to make some more decisions. But
he ain't nothing going out that door without his signature.
Oh yeah, very true, very true. But one of the things is, like, I don't feel like actually the Raiders got duped on the Gruden thing. Gruden wasn't going to leave that booth until somebody just came up with a truckload of money, because he's turned down several offers throughout the past years.
But still a dupe. That's the thing.
Yeah, but I don't think he had any plans. I think the Raiders was just like, hey, what's it going to take to get you out of the booth? And he tossed a stupid, ridiculous number at them, thinking they was just going to be like, man, kiss my ass, get out of here. But they was like, hey, all right, cool. And he was like, for real, for real? Oh, you mean oh, for real? For real? Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, I guess I said it, so sure. I think it was one of more of those deals where it's just like, oh man, oh, you got to do all this. You want to get me out, and then they do it, and you're like, oh shit, I guess I got to go perform now. Yeah.
Well, I think what ends up happening with Dallas too is they cannot put all the blame on Dak Prescott if they don't give him the tools to be successful. So if they give him a playmaking receiver, and Dak's getting to a point where you're going to have to pay him, so he will now have a star running back. I don't know if I want to call him a star, but a playmaking receiver. A solid offensive line, all the tools to be successful, to basically put you in a position where you should be able to score. If he is not able to pull those things off, then that's going to let them know, okay, was this a fluke that he had that 15-1 or whatever season, or did he just not have the pieces in play now? And now that he's got a playmaking receiver, he can get back to where he was at. This is what this is going to be able to tell us. Yeah. The difference, though, is Amari has a tendency to drop that ball, as him and D. Thomas together would typically lead the league, switch off places, leading the league and drop balls. So
just like this.
Correct.
Got another big play guy that you can kind of rely on.
Correct.
Who knows?
So we don't know. We'll see. I'm kind of excited to see how that's going to work. Is he playing this Sunday, I wonder, for them, or?
I think he's got a past concussion protocol. I think he got hit last week or something.
Okay. Yeah. So he'll have at least some time to look over the plays the last thing and I guess get acclimated. But he's going to, a franchise. You're going to America's football team. Who doesn't, unless you hate the Cowboys, who doesn't want to be a Cowboy? It's kind of like, it's that type of team. It's like, that's how I feel about it. So good luck to him. I definitely want to talk about that.
Yeah, so. But receiver and running back are the two easiest to get acclimated to.
Yes.
The holes are numbered the same 1 through 5, and then the passing tree has been the same since high school. So as far as the routes they're going to run.
Well, I'm not really worried about routes. I'm just saying getting acclimated to his surroundings, his teammates, the facilities, it's totally different from Oakland. That's night and day. So I was kind of curious how much time he's going to get.
There's not going to be a big patch of dirt in the middle of the field,
right?
So, if you don't count the star, then there's not going to be a big patch of dirt in the middle of the field. So,
right, yeah, totally different. Probably a little bit of a culture shock difference too from Oakland for sure. It's definitely different. So, I don't know. We'll see. Yep. Good luck to him. There's another topic I wanted us to discuss today, too. And as you guys and listeners know, we like to talk about just some social justice connected things and how everyday things apply to sports. And I wanted to look at quarterbacks specifically. Obviously, they are the head, of the body. And it comes down from the head, right? So we had Blake Bortles benched, and anybody that knows me and has ever watched a Facebook stream of mine knows my distaste for Blake Bortles. Why I have it out for him, I do not know. But, literally to this day, I think I spent an entire day stewing about the fact that he went number 3 in the draft as if he went to my own team. I don't know why I had a problem with that, but I just didn't understand why this kid from Central Florida went number 3. And now I see why. And I think it's because Jacksonville, to me, was in a position there. There were a lot of quality quarterbacks, I think, that came out. I know that was Johnny Manziel's year. Somebody else came out that year, too. But that was Manziel's year. But there were, so many good picks, and they really needed a quarterback. And they had the opportunity, and they went with Blake Bortles. And I was like, so you guys had Blaine Gabbert, Chad Henne. You had all these bench warmers, and you went to Central Florida to get your superstar? What? So I always had an issue with that. Yeah. So anyway, he was benched because I think he fumbled it twice, and I guess he's lost his locker room. And they have no respect for him, and they think he's trash. Chad Kelly, the backup for the Broncos, got arrested for felony trespassing, which basically means he was drunk and wandered into somebody's home, and they caught him and That's what happened.
Wow.
You have Tannehill.
See, I just saw the trespassing deal.
Oh, yeah.
I just saw the trespassing deal. I didn't see. Whenever I see trespassing from a guy, I figure, oh, him and his baby mama got in a fight.
Oh no, that's not what it was. He broke into a complete. He broke into a complete stranger's home and sat next to the wife on the couch and was talking gibberish that they cannot understand. And the husband therefore tried to chase him out. And
I don't know how funny that is.
Took a vacuum to his back, and yeah, he was arrested.
Who was the guy? The guy for ESPN who got in trouble for that too. He had like his own show, and then they took his show, and then they kind of gave him a slap on the wrist.
Who?
What is the guy's name? He's a real popular dude, younger guy. And I cannot remember his name, but he got in trouble for that last summer. He did this. He wandered into somebody's like spot and was just trashed.
Yeah.
It'll come to me shortly.
Now, I do have a friend or two that has done that, but at the end of the day, sir, you are in the middle of your season, and the way that Case Keenum's playing, I wouldn't have been surprised if you would have got your shot in a game or two. And now that's blown because that organization does not play that. They really have no leadway for the okie doke. So now they have an issue there. Okay, you have Tannehill, who was always hurt. Now Osweiler, of all people, is getting a starting job again in Miami. Yep. So you have Tannehill out. You have Eli Manning, who has absolutely no peripheral vision, no pass rush awareness, like none at all. No pocket awareness whatsoever. Okay, he's oblivious.
Eli is full on punch drunk. He's punch drunk.
So I have a Blake Bortles bench. I have Chad Kelly arrested. I have Tannehill always hurt. And I have Eli Manning, who is oblivious. So I want to know, why does Colin Kaepernick still not have a job? You had Chris Carter on television saying, Jacksonville, you talked to him before. You need to swallow your pride. You need to pick up the phone and you need to get him in the locker room. Yeah. This is Hall of Famer Chris Carter on television saying, what are you doing? I don't understand why these people have jobs and Colin Kaepernick does not have a job. I'm baffled.
Sad.
I'm confused.
It's sad. I don't even at this point, it's like now everyone's gonna be like, oh well, he's 2 years removed, what can he do? And it's just like, you've brought quarterbacks further back than that.
Right.
Last year, when everybody was truly avoiding Kaepernick, they pulled out a Josh Freeman.
Right.
They pulled out several other guys that hadn't played in years.
Right.
Freaking Buffalo has this guy Anderson. Everyone had to look up when the last time he played. It was 7 years ago, the last time he had taken a snap in the NFL.
Right.
But he was a starting quarterback for the Buffalo Bills this past weekend.
Because most people that are backups aren't playing. So you're doing everything that Kaepernick's doing. You're just maybe running in a practice or two, keeping your body together, studying a play. But you're not doing anything more than what he could do.
Yep.
So and how could he do worse? Honestly, how could he possibly do worse than what's going on right now? If anybody's been watching Eli Manning, I want to know how you could do worse than what Eli Manning is currently doing.
Yeah, I think it's almost everyone could be doing better than Eli Manning right now, except for maybe Blake Bortles.
Right.
I think Blake Bortles is the only other guy who could be doing worse.
And even if those areas are conservative and they have an issue with Colin Kaepernick, at the end of the day, they're so desperate to be good and have a win that all Kaepernick would have to do is go in there and win a game or two, and they'd be over it.
Yeah. That's it. Don't give the game away like Bortles and Eli are doing.
Correct.
Don't give the game away.
Just don't blow our chances. I'm sure that Jacksonville defense is like, we're doing our job. And that's how I know the Broncos are feeling, too, about Case Keenum is, we're doing our job, dude. What are you doing? Do your job.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Ridiculous.
It's just something I had to bring up. It was just really bothering me. It was just really pushing every button I had. Wow. That those things were coming out, and this man still had no job. It just blows me away. And I don't want to hear anybody tell me he's not talented. You're a liar. You're like reaching for the bottom of the barrel at this point.
Basically. Yeah. All right. Well, you said you're not going to do the cave conquering moment. It's okay because I have two WTFs.
I'm ready for them.
All right, my first one is one from last week, and it goes to your Bears, your Chicago Bears.
Why are they mine?
Who you've been on, because you've been on the past couple of years. These Bears, Trubisky, they're going to do some things.
I still believe they will.
They're going to do some things, and I'm cool. I'm cool with that. I haven't been all in on Trubisky. And I wasn't really just all in because it's the Bears. But they have shown great improvements this year with the addition of Khalil Mack. Mm-hmm. But I had a problem last week when they went down to Miami and made Brock Osweiler look like an NFL quarterback.
Well, they wouldn't be the first team to do that. They wouldn't be the first team to do that because sometimes he has those moments.
That was just sad. But you're the vaunted Bears defense. You're back. You got the Mac man, and you let Brock Osweiler, who just come out of nowhere and off the bench and just embarrass y'all. And he didn't embarrass them in the fact that like they blew him out, but he shouldn't have had no 28 points in a win in overtime. So that was a what the fuck moment for me last week. And then this week, my what the fuck moment goes to my boys, the Ohio State Buckeyes. We didn't do a podcast on this, but I said over the summer, you can look at my Facebook feeds, you can look at anyone who talked to me about the discussion. One, I said this back years ago that I was not a huge Urban Meyer guy. Even though, yes, I like him getting Ohio State a national championship and bringing them back to the top 5 every year, whatnot. I am not an Urban Meyer guy because of the fact he left Florida. I'm not a fan of coaches ditching their teams.
Yeah, you said that on the air too. You have.
Yeah. Coaches that ditch their teams, I need to step away, deal with some health stuff, and go and deal with some family stuff, and I need to retire. And then 2 years later, you're at Ohio State, healthy as can be, no cancer, no, you don't even got the sniffles, and you're good to go. So, yeah, thank you for bringing us back to top 5 every year. But when the summer shit came out and they came down and was just like, hey, man, everybody in your administration and everybody knows that one of your coaches was beating the shit out of his wife and y'all didn't fire him. Urban Meyer should have been gone. I said it then. I said it now. I said it before. Whatever. Urban Meyer should have been gone. Then he comes back from his suspension and is just completely shit in the bed. It's like, do you even know how to coach anymore?
Well, they were definitely doing better without him.
The last couple wins, they've been winning in spite of him coming back. They were, like you said, they were doing better without him. And then last week was just ridiculous. You let your best defensive lineman, who is hurt, by the way, walk away from the team. So that I knew something was really wrong there, because I understand Joey, or one of the Bosa boys, Joey Bosa's little brother, whatever, right. Bosa.
Right.
I understand. I completely understand his sentiments of, hey, look, I'm going to the league. I'm gonna be a top 5 pick. I'm not coming back from this injury this year. Cool, no problem. As a coach and as someone who runs that athletic department, hey, man, you've done great for us. Your brother did great for us, national championships, all this goodness. Whatever you need, medical-wise, whatever your team needs, whatever you need to get through the semester and to get through the school year, we got your back. Thank you for what you've done. We understand. Instead, this dude had to decommit and completely leave the school and the squad. Like, what were y'all doing?
Right.
What were y'all doing? Just so he could get his medical team on board to make sure his injury is good for the draft.
Right.
I'm like, you don't understand how your top 5 defensive end lures in other high school prospects. And shit, I want to play there. I want to be top 5 like the Bosa boys and make all this NFL money and play for a big school. Y'all couldn't find a way to keep him in the program at all. And I was like, oh, there's something really wrong in the back there. And it's my what the fuck moment of the week. And then they go out and shit the bed against Purdue and just get blown out. Like, they didn't just get beat by Purdue. They got blown out. And it's embarrassing. And it's sad. Urban Meyer should be gone. Period.
Well, you could be winless like my Huskers, so your complaining is null and void to me. But I will say, didn't
your Huskers win
for all
this past weekend?
For all the Michigan fans that were all on Harbaugh, you're eating crow right now.
Yeah. Yep. So it's sad.
That's good. Well, those are some good WTF moments. They were worthy.
No. I'm just angry. All my Ohio teams lost this week, and it pisses me off.
That's my friend posted the same thing. He's a Browns fan. He's like, Ohio State lost, the Browns lost, this person lost. Like, he like listed them all off. I think he had on like a Ohio themed shirt. He said, this shirt must be bad luck. I was like, that's probably is.
Freaking Cincinnati Bearcats were 6-0, and they lost to Temple.
Everybody lost. It wasn't a team.
Everybody in Ohio
didn't lose. So yeah, I thought that was pretty entertaining.
Sad.
But yeah, I'm excited for the games. Like, there's some pretty good matchups. Our Thursday pick.
Yep.
It's Miami at Houston, which Houston. You know what's funny is nobody's really talking about Watson at all. Like.
Yeah, he's coming. He took him a couple of games to adjust, but now he's flowing again.
Yeah, and I think maybe because there's so much dysfunction and so much going on everywhere else that it's almost good for him, because I think at first, after that injury, that there was going to be almost too much attention on him. And I was kind of worried for him that he wouldn't be able to live up to it and there'd be like all these eyes on him. But with everything else going on in the league, he's been kind of able to skate by, and no one's really putting any focus on him. So it's really allowed for him to kind of get his groove back without, too much negative or positive attention thrown his way.
Yep.
So we'll see. He's going to be on the Thursday night stage, and so when it's that way, everybody's watching you. So it's a little bit different than just kind of being thrown in on a Sunday morning game or something like that. So
we'll see. I'm iffy about this game though, because I do see Houston winning the game, but right now ESPN is showing 7.5 points, and I'm not sure on that 7.5.
I'm definitely not sure on it. And you know how I feel about those Thursday games. I always feel like any given Thursday, like it's just never what you think it's going to be.
Exactly. It is the wishy-washy ass Dolphins, though, so I'm gonna go ahead and roll with the Texans in that 7.5.
All right, I'm gonna take Miami. We'll see.
Go for it. Go for it.
Way more fun when we do it that way.
Yep.
Oh man! All right, you guys. Well, that's our episode. We're back though. We shouldn't have any issues with bringing up next week, and we'll have some cave concrete moments. We'll talk about fantasy next week. I don't want to talk about fantasy because I lost one of mine because quarterbacks decided to not perform this week, and I'm still trying to figure out why they only get points really for passing touchdowns instead of a handoff. But that's neither here nor there. I'm just a little irritated about that. But yeah, we'll definitely bring back our fantasy sits and starts for sure.
Yep. And it's week 8, so hey, we're midway through everything.
Isn't that crazy?
Let's get it.
It's already almost like Thanksgiving football. Like it's like around the corner. That's terrifying. It's almost the playoffs.
Yeah, it's I feel a chill in the air. It's not 85 degrees. It's only 80 right now.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. It's like 75, 80 here too. So yeah, I'm like, woo. I'm like, I had to pull my blanket all the way up at night. Couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Be jealous, people. We live in hot climates, okay? He's on the
Yep.
island drinking tropical drinks, out of tiki glasses with umbrellas and stuff every day.
Every day. That's all I do every day. me and tiki drinks. That's it. You got whiskey in a tiki. You got whiskey in a tiki cup.
Absolutely.
Yes,
I do. I wanted it to be festive. Definitely, though. Make sure you guys follow us on social media at K Sports on Facebook and then K Sports Podcast on Instagram. But with that all being said, I'm your host, Anastasia.
And I am Pepper, the misunderstood evil genius, everybody's favorite crazy cousin, the most powerful comedian in the universe.
And this is, of course, The Cave.